What would you do if a single phone call turned your peaceful retreat into a battlefield? In the heart of the Smoky Mountains, where the air smells of pine and freedom, I thought I'd found my sanctuary. My cabin, nestled among ancient oaks, was my escape from the grind of city life, a place where my family could laugh, grill burgers, and breathe without someone peering over our shoulders. But then Karen showed up, her clipboard in hand, her lips pursed like she'd just bitten a lemon. And with one call to 911, she didn't just disrupt my barbecue. She unraveled a chain of events that would leave us all changed forever. My name is Marcus, a mechanic who'd saved every penny for 5 years to buy this cabin. It wasn't much, just a 2-bedroom haven with a creaky porch and a fire pit out back, but it was ours. My wife, Lena, and our 2 kids, Jamal and Aisha, loved it as much as I did. That summer, we'd invited my old friend Theo, a quiet guy with a knack for storytelling, to join us for a weekend of ribs, music, and stargazing. The plan was simple. Fire up the grill, crack open some beers, and let the kids roast marshmallows until they collapsed in a sugar coma. But the universe, it seems, had other plans. It was Saturday afternoon, the sun dipping low, casting golden streaks across the lake. The smell of charcoal and sizzling meat filled the air. Aisha was dancing to some pop song blaring from Lena's phone, and Jamal was trying to teach Theo how to skip stones. I was flipping burgers, feeling like life couldn't get much better, when I heard the crunch of gravel. A white SUV rolled up, and out stepped Karen, the self-appointed queen of the Pine Ridge Homeowners Association. Her blonde bob was immaculate, her sunglasses perched like a crown. I'd met her once before, when she'd lectured me about the proper height of my mailbox. I didn't like her then, and I liked her even less now. "Marcus," she said, her voice sharp enough to cut glass, "you're in violation of HOA regulations. Open flames are prohibited within 50 feet of the property line." She pointed at my grill like it was a bomb. I forced a smile. "Karen, we're fine. The grill's been here for years, and it's nowhere near the line. Why don't you join us? Got plenty of food." Her eyes narrowed. "This isn't a negotiation. I've already called 911. The fire department's on its way." Lena froze, her hand halfway to a beer. "You called the cops? Over a barbecue?" "It's a safety issue," Karen snapped, clutching her phone like a weapon. "Rules are rules." I felt my blood boil, but I kept my voice steady. "Karen, this is private property. The HOA doesn't own my land." She smirked. "We'll see about that." 3 minutes later, sirens wailed in the distance. A fire truck pulled up, followed by a sheriff's cruiser. The kids stopped playing, their faces tight with worry. Theo, ever the peacemaker, tried to lighten the mood, whispering to Jamal about how firefighters were real-life superheroes. But I could see the fear in Aisha's eyes, and it gutted me. This was supposed to be our safe place. The firefighters, led by a grizzled guy named Captain Ruiz, took one look at the grill and shook their heads. "This is fine," Ruiz said, scratching his beard. "It's a standard grill, well-maintained, no hazard." He turned to Karen. "Ma'am, why exactly did you call us?" Karen's face turned red. "It's against HOA rules. I'm protecting the community." The sheriff, a woman named Deputy Harris, raised an eyebrow. "HOA rules aren't laws, ma'am. You can't just call 911 for this. That's misuse of emergency services." Karen sputtered, but I wasn't done. I'd had enough of her petty tyranny. "Deputy," I said, "I've got something to show you." I pulled out a folder from inside the cabina collection of documents I'd been compiling for months. See, Karen's HOA had been overstepping for years, harassing cabin owners with fines for everything from unapproved paint colors to excessive wildflowers. I'd done some digging and found that Pine Ridge HOA wasn't even legally binding. The original charter, signed decades ago, had expired, and Karen's group was operating on nothing but intimidation. I handed the folder to Deputy Harris. "This proves the HOA has no authority here. They've been extorting us, and I want them gone." Harris skimmed the pages, her expression hardening. "This is serious. Ma'am, you've got some explaining to do." Karen's confidence cracked. You can't do this. I'm the president of... You're the president of nothing. I cut in. Your HOA's a sham, and I'm done letting you bully people. That's when the twist came, and it wasn't from me. Theo, who'd been quiet all this time, stepped forward. Deputy, I can back Marcus up. He pulled out his phone and played a recording conversation from last month where Karen had tried to strong-arm him into paying a compliance fee for his cabin's unauthorized solar panels. Theo, it turned out, wasn't just a storyteller. He was a lawyer who'd been quietly building a case against the HOA for months. He'd recorded every interaction, every threat, every attempt at extortion. I've got more, Theo said, his voice calm but deadly. Emails, texts, even a voicemail where Karen admits the HOA's charter lapsed. She's been running a racket. Karen's face went white. The firefighters, sensing the drama, started packing up, but Captain Ruiz stayed, his arms crossed, watching Karen like a hawk. Deputy Harris took the recording and the documents. This is enough for an investigation, she said. Ms. Karen, you're coming with me. As Karen was led to the cruiser, still protesting, I felt a rush of triumph. The HOA was done. My family was safe. The cabin was ours again. But that feeling didn't last. That night, after the kids were asleep, Lena and I sat on the porch with Theo. The stars were out, but the mood was heavy. You think it's over? Lena asked, her voice soft. Theo shook his head. Karen's not the type to let this go. She's got friends, connections. She'll fight back. He was right. 2 weeks later, I got a call from my lawyer. Karen had filed a lawsuit, claiming I defamed her and caused emotional distress. It was nonsense, but it meant legal fees, stress, and months of uncertainty. Worse, I started getting anonymous letters, threats scrawled in jagged handwriting, warning me to watch my back. One night, someone slashed the tires on my truck. Another time, a rock came through the cabin's window, narrowly missing Aisha. I tried to shield my family, but the kids noticed. Jamal stopped skipping stones. Aisha stopped dancing. Lena, who'd always been my rock, started waking up in cold sweats. The cabin, our sanctuary, felt like a prison. I'd won the battle against Karen, but at what cost? One evening, as I sat by the fire pit, staring at the ashes of our last barbecue, Theo joined me. You did the right thing, he said. You stood up to a bully. Did I? I asked, my voice breaking. My kids are scared. My wife's a wreck. And for what? A barbecue? A piece of paper saying the HOA's fake. Theo put a hand on my shoulder. You fought for what's yours, Marcus. That's not nothing. But sometimes winning comes with a price. I looked at the cabin, its warm lights glowing against the dark. I thought of the memories we'd made here, the laughter, the marshmallow fights, the way Aisha's eyes lit up when she saw a deer. I'd fought to protect that. But now, every creak of the porch felt like a warning. Every shadow felt like Karen waiting to strike back. In the end, I sold the cabin. Not because I wanted to, but because I had to. The threats didn't stop, and I couldn't risk my family's safety. We moved back to the city, to a house with a small yard and neighbors who minded their own business. The kids started smiling again, but it wasn't the same. Lena tried to hide her grief, but I saw it in the way she'd stare at old photos of the cabin. I'd won against Karen, but I'd lost something bigger, our haven, our peace, our freedom. Sometimes, I wonder if I should have just put out the grill that day. If I'd bent to Karen's rules, maybe we'd still be there, laughing under the stars. But then I remember Theo's recording, the look on Karen's face when she realized her power was gone. I'd stood up, not just for me, but for everyone she'd bullied. That was worth something, even if it cost me everything. Andy.